Today we are going to learn about the next chapter. Chapter name is land use. Here given the activity. Draw a sketch of your house. On the sketch, show following with the proper directions: kitchen, bedroom, courtyard, living rooms, bedrooms, etc. That means in here draw a sketch your house. तुमच्या हाऊसचं काय करायचं आहे, स्केच काढायचं आहे आणि त्यामध्ये काय दाखवायचे आहे तुम्हाला, किचन, बेडरूम, बाथरूम, living rooms. Then after this sketch you have to discussion on the following points. A, why do you need for fix a place for everything in the house, and B, what would you happen there were no fixed place. Here given the geographical explanation. You maybe have realized that there is a fixed place for everything. If this is not done, house appear disorganized. There will be difficulties while moving around the house. That means you realized based on this everything, or there is a fixed place for everything. म्हणजे एखाद्या गोष्टीचं काय पाहिजे, फिक्स्ड प्लेस पाहिजे. नाहीतर सपोज you can move first day bathroom here, then next day there. Is possible? Not. There will be difficulties while moving around the house. If the arrangement are changed, there will be confused for few days. The land available in your house is used in different purposes. That means the land available in your house is used for different purposes. Here given the activities. The activity has been performed all the students together. Commercial, residential, open guard, entertainment, industries, transport, agriculture, institute, mix of land. This activity doing with you. Prepare a board with this name. Let us the students stand circle holding this board. Now prepare chill with the following names put in this box: shop, garden, bank, utensil, factory, school, bungalows, residential building, malls, hockey field, cinema house, hospital, bus stops, then port, airport, swimming pools, badminton court, and received a forest. Each student will pick one cheat and one per the land use category will be close of the person holding the respective board. One activity is completed. Here given the land use is the way of purpose for which land in the region used. This interaction between the geographical factor and man have resulted in land use. Land use is undergoes change with the time. As man's needs have increased, the use of the land for different purposes have also increased. Minerals rich land is used for the mining, and fertile plains are used for the agriculture. That means in the daily life the man who was the used the land. That means the land use is a way of purpose for which land in a region used. That means which type of land used in this region, this is used based on this use, the land use of this region. The interaction between geographical factor and the man have resulting in land use. That means the land is dependent on the geographical factors, and how this use of this land in this region. Land is undergoes change with the time. That means this land is undergoes change with the time. As man's need have increased, the use of land is different purposes has also increases. That means at that time man's needs also increases, and at that time land use is also increases in different purposes. Mineral rich land is used for mining. That means mineral rich land is used for the mining, and the fertile land is used for the agriculture field. Then types of land use. First is a rural land use, then Arabian land use, second in this followed land, then here forest land, grassland, urban land, and then commercial land, recreational land, and then last traditional areas and suburbs. First type of land is the rural land use. Rural areas, agriculture is the main occupation. In rural areas, agriculture the main occupation. Agro-based activities are also common in rural areas. This influenced the location of the rural settlement. Hence, these settlements are located close to the agricultural field and the forest area. The settlement of the miners are close to the mining areas, while fishermen's settlement are near the seashore. In the rural areas, the availability of the land is more and the population is less. Hence, the population is sparse. In rural areas, the extent of the residential area is less. Land use in the rural areas can be classified for the following manners. First type of the land use is the rural land use, and in this rural land use, in these areas the agriculture is the main occupations, and agro-based activity are common in the rural areas. That means the in these areas the settlements is close to the agriculture. That means the settlement of these peoples are dependent on the agricultural field and forest areas. The settlement of the miner are close to the mining are the mining area, while fishermen settlement at the near the seashore. That means in the mining area there were the fishermen are the settlement are the near the seashore. In rural areas the availability of land is more. That means in this type of land there are the availability of land is more and population is less. That means here the land area of the land is more and the population is less, and population is sparse. That means this population is distributed. In these rural areas the extended residential area is less. That means in this type of land use there where the extended residential area is compared to low or less. Land use of the rural areas can be classified by the following manners. First is the arable lands. This is the land under cultivation. Normally this land is under individual ownership. This land can be classified as per ownership of the land and type of agriculture. That means arable land is also used for the cultivation, and normally this land is undergo individual ownership. ती म्हणजे फक्त एकट्याच्याच ओनरशिपची असते, आणि ती क्लासिफाईड कशामध्ये केलेली आहे? फॉलोड लँड, देन followed land, forest land, and third is the grassland or the orchard land. First type of this arable land is the followed land. This is the agriculture land which is the temporarily not in use. In order to improve the fertile of the soil, the farmers does not use the part of the agricultural land for 1 or 2 season. That means in this followed lands, this agriculture land is a temporarily not in use. That means this type of the land using it temporary? No, this land uses the continuously in order to improve the fertility of the soil. That means in this type of land people improve the fertility of the soil. The farmer does not use part of the part of his agricultural land for 1 or 2 seasons. That means the farmers who is not use part of this agricultural land for 1 or 2 seasons. Then second type of this land is the forest land. A democratic forest area is also type of the rural land use. From these areas forest products like firewood, gum and grass are obtained. The forest compare of the large trees, bushes, creepers and grass. That means in the forest land they democratic forest area also type of rural areas, and from this area forest product as like firewood, gum, grass are obtained. That means in this this is the democratic forest area, and we get from this area like firewood, gum, grass and forest comprised to larger tree bushes, creepers and grass. Next type of this land, arable land, the grassland and pastured land. This land is under the ownership of the village panchayat or the government and use of the grazing purpose. This land is belongs to the entire village. Very little class land is under the individual of ownership. That means this type of land is ownership. ह्याची ओनरशिप कोणाकडे असते तर ह्याची ओनरशिप विलेज पंचायत किंवा गव्हर्नमेंटकडे असते आणि ते ग्रेजिंग पर्पजसाठी यूज केला जातो. दिस लँड बिलॉंग्स टू एंटायर विलेज. व्हेरी लिटल ग्लास लँड अंडर द इंडिव्हिज्युअल ऑफ ओनरशिप. देन नेक्स्ट टाइप ऑफ लँड यूज द urban land use, rural land use, and second is the main type is the urban land use. This has been an increase in urban settlement in the 20th century. In the urban areas, land is used for different purposes. It is necessary to make maximum use of land. In the urban areas, with a reference to population of the land is limited, there the distribution of population is dense. Urban land use can be classified in the following manners. That means in the urban areas, these areas has been increased the urban settlement in the 20th century. In urban area, land is used for the different purposes. Which is the different purposes use this urban land use? That means in the urban areas with reference to population land limited, their distribution of population is dense. First is the commercial land use. Some part of the cities are also used for the commercial purpose. In these areas, there are many shops, banks, office. This has given rise to concept of the central business district. That means CBD. For example, in Mumbai, there Fort area and the BKG. That means Bandra Kurla complex. That means in the first type of this urban land use is the commercial land use. That means in this land used for the commercial purposes. For example, here given the in these areas there were the many shops, banks, office. That means एखादी bank किंवा suppose shops किंवा जी काय ऑफिस असतात तो एरियासाठी जी लँड यूज केली जाते त्याला काय म्हटलं जातं कमर्शियल लँड यूज. हिअर गिवन द एक्झाम्पल ऑफ this concept are also known as the central business district or CBD. Here given the example of the commercial land use in Mumbai, the Fort area or the BKC, that means Bandra Kurla complex. This land is also example of the commercial land use. Then second is the residential land use. Here the main land used for the residential purpose. In this area, houses, residential buildings are included. Since the population is more in the urban areas, residential land use the increases. That means in this type of land use, there were the use of the land is for the purpose of residence. That means इथं काय केलं जातं या एरियामध्ये रेसिडेन्शियल साठी जी काही लँड यूज केली जाते म्हणजे राहण्यासाठी किंवा बिल्डिंगसाठी किंवा जी लोक रेसिडेन्शियल असतात त्यांच्यासाठी यूज केलेली जी काय असते रेसिडेन्शियल लँड यूज. सिन्स पॉप्युलेशन इज मोर इन द अर्बन एरियाज रेसिडेन्शियल लँड यूज हॅज increases. That means in the urban area the residential land has been increases. Then next is the transport land use. Transport land use. Urban areas transportation facility are important for the movement of the goods and peoples. For this purpose, different type of transportation facility are found in the cities like public bus stop, railway line, metro, monorails, commercial vehicles, etc. That means in these urban areas, transportation facility are so important, so important for the movement of the good and peoples. Transportation means goes to the one place to another place with help of any vehicle. That means this is the bus, railway, metro. The different type of transportation facility are found in the cities, like public bus stop. Here given the example of the transportation: the public stop, railway lines, metro, monorails, commercial vehicle. In addition this, the number of private vehicle in also larger. That means in this area there were private vehicles is also larger. Hence in cities, road, railway lines, station, petrol pump, transport depots and the vehicles repair centers occupy large areas. That means in this area there were the cities of road, railway lines, station, petrol pumps and transport depots, vehicle repair center occupy the which area, which land. This is known as the transport land use. This is are included in the transport land use. That means this all these used, or they are all these the included in this transport land use. Thank you.